When I met with Ford and they decided to move the facility out of Canada to the city of Chicago, they saw a trained, educated workforce. We were willing to invest in the bridges that did not exist before so they can move efficiently their product, the Ford Explorer, and all the other auto pieces, cars rather, that they make there. Investing in transportation, investing in technology, investing in trained workforce and educated workforce at every level. Why is Mr. Khan here? Because of the University of Illinois. Why are other factories here, like take the rail factory? We have a trained, educated workforce, an unbelievable transportation system, centrally located. We have a tremendous amount of strengths. Now, the fact of the matter is we also worked on a team effort in trying to put together a package to convince him, and any facility, whether it's a new worldwide headquarters or new manufacturing, I'll give you an example. Not far from here, the Whole Foods distribution company is leaving Indiana, and they're going to open up in 6 months. Why did they pick Chicago? Trained workforce, great transportation system, and we've made investments in each of those to strengthen them for the future. Marianne, on education.
But we're really here because of you and the governor being here together.
That's your choice, not mine.
Yeah. Do you all talk? Where are you closer on a school deal?
Listen, I'm very strong. I'll work with anybody to advance the goal. The fact of the matter is, like Mr. Khan's story, Marianne, why did he come originally to the University of Illinois? He could have gone to California, he could have gone somewhere else, because the University of Illinois is a world-class institute. No, has Matt Renner. No, yes it does.
Are you close to it? Do you have a deal yet?
No, we're working together. The deal is Springfield, by Constitution, the state of Illinois is the biggest investor in education. Illinois is dead last. And all the school systems, 500 school superintendents from around the state have come together and said Illinois can no longer continue to cut back on education investment. They have to stabilize it, they have to grow it, and I've been clear with every other superintendent across the state of Illinois, whether you're in the suburbs, whether you're in cities, whether you're in a rural area, Illinois has to invest in education, and they have to also not only give all the school districts certainty. What they can't do is have a bait and switch where you say, here's what we're going to do, and then never pay their bills.
But why is the teamwork you can show here lacking on the education? Okay.
Governor, when's the last time you met with the mayor? Where are your talks as far as CPS? When's the last time you and the mayor have sat down?
We are working primarily through the General Assembly on education funding reform. This is critically important. The last time our education funding formula was changed was by Governor Blagojevich and Speaker Madigan in 2003. We have a broken system. Our education funding formula is terrible. We established a bipartisan commission to take up education funding reform. They developed their recommendations. I applaud them for that. There are two different bills that have been introduced in the Senate, one by Senator Manar, one by Senator Barackman, and we are encouraging the two of them to get together and reconcile their two bills, and I believe that can get done here in the very near future.
Was it just a show today? I mean, do you all talk or do you not talk?
So let's focus on what we're working with the city administration. We need better school funding. A new funding formula will improve the funding for Chicago Public Schools. I've encouraged the mayor, and I encourage him again today, the mayor to get involved with the General Assembly. The mayor should get involved in pushing to make sure that the new funding formula gets done. He has influence in the Democratic caucus. I hope he'll get involved directly. He hasn't been doing as much of that, I believe, as I would like to see him. I think we could get it done if he would. We also have pushed for more school funding overall, much of which would come to CPS. We set a record my first year in office of $750 million more for public education in Illinois. We've advocated for $250 million more now in our new budget. Much of that would help Chicago Public Schools, and we are trying to get more resources for our lower income schools particularly, and that will help CPS quite a bit.
Governor Speaker.
So I attended Chicago State's graduation ceremony today. It was an honor for me. I was very excited to do it. I always get chills in my spine, a little bit teary-eyed to see the commencement, the next phase of life for young men and women who are going to the next phase in their careers, and I wanted to congratulate them for their hard work, their dedication to their education, and to cheer them on. They're our future. They're the future leaders of Illinois, and I wanted to support them. I also wanted to show support for the administration at Chicago State, for the faculty at Chicago State. They're working hard, trying to make their institution a wonderful institution. And I personally, as well as in our administration, am committed to the success of Chicago State University. It's a very important institution of higher learning for the black community, but it's an important higher education institution for the entire state of Illinois. I'm very proud. I believe we put together one of the best boards of trustees, one of the best board of directors of any organization in the state of Illinois that we put together for Chicago State. I'm very proud too of the new leaders, Paul Vallis and Dr. Lindsay, who are leading the turnaround of the institution. Unfortunately, Chicago State, for years and years, this is not the last year or two, this is many years, has had academic failings and struggles, has had financial mismanagement and some insider dealings. That we need to change the culture and turn the organization around, because it matters deeply for so many students to have a better future. And I'm proud of the changes we're making. When I was introduced and stood up to speak, there was clapping, but there was also some negative feedback. And you know what? I share their frustration. This system is broken. I am totally with them. I'd love to boo our system as well. I'm not going to boo it. I'm going to change it. We're going to make it right. And Chicago State is 150 years old. I want the next 150 years for Chicago State University to be even better than their first 150 years, and we're going to get that done.
Last one, Governor. Schools, if there's no budget in place,
I'm sorry?
is there a plan, contingency plan for schools if there's no budget in place?
Well, so what we've got to do, and this is so doable, is get a balanced budget. It's difficult because the General Assembly hasn't passed balanced budgets for decades. But we've got to get them to do it. They can't postpone, they shouldn't kick the can, they shouldn't spend money we don't have. We should get a balanced budget with more money for education. We have cut, before I became governor, Madigan's majority in the General Assembly cut state support for schools 4 times in the prior 10 years. And we are the worst state in America for funding public education. This is wrong. We need more money for schools, and the cutting that the majority of the General Assembly did hurt Chicago public schools terribly. We've got to change the system, get more money into our schools, shrink our government bureaucracy, and put much more of the money into the lower income school districts. We do that along with growing our economy by, like companies like Flexingate, expanding our tax base so we can have the revenue to keep our budgets balanced. We'll have a better future. Freezing our property taxes, grow our economy, and then make sure that our school funding is the proper.
The contingency plan?
Thanks very much, everybody.
Governor, do you know how to say yes? President Cullerton says you don't know how to say yes.
He doesn't know.